Welcome to my YouTube channel. In my channel, I talk about web development, I talk about career in tech, and I talk about my experience. And soon I'll be adding videos of foods I make or different delicacies that I'll be cooking, so that you can also learn and you can also join me in cooking and know that I like eating good food. Alright, today we're talking about variable in JavaScript. So there are some differences or there's some confusions for people who are new or probably who are in the intermediate level, but they still don't know where to use which or which one to avoid. But at the end of this lesson or at the end of this video, you should be able to know which one to avoid, which one to use, and probably make a decision yourself. So before we go into the explanation, let's talk about variable, because it won't be nice if you just go directly into a variable declaration and we just go like that. When it comes to variable, I want you to see variable like a container that stores item, and anytime you want to retrieve the item, the only thing you need to do is pick out the container and pick out the item inside of the container, and you have access to it. So looking at the diagram, we have different containers that stores different informations or different items. One stores peanuts, one stores sweets, other stores spaghetti, one stores Pringles, cereal, or cheese ball. So whichever one the container stores, anytime you need to retrieve an item, it's just for you to pick up the container and open the container, then get the item. The same way variable works in programming. Anytime you create a variable and you need to access data that is stored in the variable, all you need to do is call the variable and the data stored into it will be accessible to you. So now let's go into discussing the three variable creation keyword: var, that is var, let, and const. So I created a variable called car and I assigned a variable into it, or let me say a value into it called Mercedes. I like Mercedes, so let me change it to the one I specifically like, that is Mercedes GLE Coupe. Right, so I create a function and I say name of car, and I now say const.log car. This will print out Mercedes. Okay, I think this is a spelling, Mercedes GLE Coupe. Yeah, this will print that out anytime this function is called. Is it supposed to be so? No, but that is how variable works. And anytime you also do const.log outside of the function, it still prints out this for you. So the issue is block scoping. Variable keyword does not have, this particular keyword does not have block scoping in itself. So anytime you declare a variable and probably you go into a new block which is between this curly braces, is called a block. So if you create a new variable that is still referring to that, it's probably not going to give you an issue because variable works anywhere. But when let was released, it works within the scope at which it is being created. So if you create a variable called let, right, and you call the variable name school and you assign a value of this into that is University of Tartu, and then you say const.log school. Now this will print out University of Tartu. So let me change this to University of let me just give it University of Nigeria, Osaka. So if you print this, this will give you this result. But if you try to access this variable outside of this block, you won't be able to access it. So I will uncomment this so that anytime we run this code, you will see the issue, so that we can just come back and view them. And the last one is const. So when you create a const, it means that you don't want this variable to be changed in your code, right? So if you do console.log country, it prints out Nigeria, which is the one I assigned to the variable. So this is the value and this is the variable. So I tried to change the country from Nigeria to Mexico or to Mexico, and it will return an error because you cannot change the value of a constant. But this rule does not apply to this scenario when you are creating an object. So we create an object called person, and inside of the person we add a property called name. So if you say person.name, it will print out Olamilekon. But can we change this to favor? Okay, favor. And if you try to access this, it returns favor for you. So this returns favor. But here we change this to Smaya, and if you try to access it again, it returns Smaya for you. So let's run the code and let's debug. All right. So variable car Mercedes GLE coupe is being accessed inside of this block scoped. Why? Because the variable keyword is being used. Now going into this, we say console.log name of school. This works, but this stops our code from running because you cannot access a scoped variable because it was declared using let, and it is inside of a block scope or of a block, so it is not accessible outside. So if I should comment this, and we should continue. So let me try and comment all this so that we can continue with the part of the code which is for the const. So if you should clear this and run. All right, so the first print out the country Nigeria, but because you can modify the value of a const declared variable, it will return an error. So if I should comment this again, which means the issue is gone. Now let's try this out and let's run. All right, so it prints out Nigeria for you, and then this is a person object, and we access the person and it gives us favor. This is person.name. This is the initial value. Then we try to modify it, which is changed, and then print it out and it returns Ismaya. So this tells you that variable, which is var, let, and const, can be used to declare different variables in your program, but you need to know which to use, which to stop using, and which to use anytime the need arises. So the const keyword should be used anytime you know that the value of that variable will not change throughout your program. So use const keyword, and don't be afraid to use it for creating an object because it can still be modified, right? Okay, so for the let variable, know that you can use this anytime you are working within a block, and know that it cannot be reassigned outside of the block. It is only available within that block scope. So when you use the let keyword, it is available within the within the block at which it was declared. So if you try to access it outside, it's no longer available. And the var keyword, I guess you should avoid using it because of how it might affect your program. Anytime a var or a keyword using var is being declared, or a variable is being declared using var, know that it will still be accessible anywhere it is being called. So now you've been able to understand the let keyword, the const keyword, and the var keyword. So you can actually write better code. You can write the one that you know that okay, it is predictable, and you can know what you need them to do. So For now, remember that const is for constant, let is for reassignment, or it's available for reassignment within the block at which it was declared, and then try to avoid var for any project so that you can avoid issues. If you enjoyed this video, click on the like button, subscribe, share, and let me know which video or which content you want me to create next. See you in the next content, and I hope you also watch it. Bye.